Join our community by subscribing. Every click helps us share more stories like this one. The introduction. In the small, unassuming town of Harrow's End, nostalgia lingered in the air, blending seamlessly with the faint scent of decaying leaves. The streets, lined with weathered Victorian homes, whispered stories of long-lost summers, while shadows danced in the twilight. An old clock tower, its paint peeling like the memories it held, chimed ominously at dusk, signaling the start of another quiet evening. To the casual observer, the town was a postcard of tranquility, a place where neighbors exchanged pleasantries and children played without fear. Beneath this idyllic facade, tensions simmered. The inexplicable disappearance of 15-year-old Clara Mitchell had sent ripples of dread throughout the community. Clara, a bright, adventurous girl with a penchant for photography, vanished on a crisp autumn afternoon while on her way to the Cooper family's pumpkin patch, a local staple for weekend festivities. Her absence was a void that cast a long shadow over Harrow's End, fostering whispers in grocery aisles and furtive glances among residents. As daylight turned to darkness, the police scoured the neighboring woods, canvassing every inch of the familiar landscape now cloaked in uncertainty. Each search brought back haunting echoes, a lost scream, rustling leaves, and hushed conversations between friends who now grappled with the loss of innocence. The people portrayed the picture of hope, but their eyes revealed a deeper fear. How could someone disappear without a trace? Together, they feared the answer was lurking closer than they dared to believe. The victim, Clara Mitchell, was known for her infectious laughter and an unwavering spirit of curiosity. A student at Harrow's End High School, she had dreams larger than the town that cradled her. Vibrant, with long chestnut hair that caught the sun like spun gold. She was a passionate photographer, often seen with her vintage camera slung around her neck, capturing flickers of beauty in the mundane. Her friends described her as a free spirit, someone who could bring life to any dull moment, always eager to explore the world through her lens. Days before Clara's disappearance, she had spoken excitedly about taking a series of photos for the upcoming school art exhibition, planning to focus on the fleeting beauty of autumn. She had set her sights on the pumpkin patch, a local leisure spot, envisioning vibrant oranges and yellows contrasting against the soft greens of the fields. Clara was grounded in her perspectives, viewing the world not only through a lens, but with a heart full of dreams and aspirations. Yet, as the days turned into weeks since her vanishing, Clara became more than a bright teenager with endless potential. She transformed into a poignant reminder of the fragility of life. Each missing poster plastered around town, depicting her beaming smile, felt like a stab in the gut to those who remembered her. The search for Clara became not just a mission to find her, but a desperate plea for understanding. How could someone involved in such an ordinary, reliable routine simply cease to exist? The vibrant tapestry of her life frayed, leaving a haunting void that questioned the very fabric of their lives in Harrow's End. The crime scene. On the morning of Clara's disappearance, investigators began the grim task of combing through the pumpkin patch, a sprawling expanse of vibrant orange that starkly contrasted with the dread that blanketed the community. The patch, bursting with ripe pumpkins that seemed to smile under the fading autumn sun, had been a gathering place for families. Today, it felt like a stage for a tragedy. The scent of damp earth mingled with the faint, metallic aroma of fear, creating an atmosphere heavy with unspoken tension. Detectives moved slowly, methodically, their breath visible in the brisk air as they tread carefully over the uneven terrain. Splotches of mud clung to their boots, carrying with them fragments of Clara's last known steps. They marked a specific area where the tall grass bent unnaturally, as if something or someone had disturbed its pristine order. The sun cast long shadows, emphasizing each crease on the detective's furrowed brows, revealing a collective urgency that resonated through the patch. Notes were taken, photographs snapped, and every detail scrutinized under the watchful eyes of authority. Amidst the chaos, a broken camera lens was discovered, half hidden beneath a cluster of leaves. The heart-stopping realization that it belonged to Clara sent chills through the team. They could only wonder what had transpired in the moments before her sudden disappearance. A wave of unease washed over the officers as they grappled with an unsettling truth questions, rapidly overtook answers. Who was there with her? Who was there with her? What had she encountered that day? As they sifted through layers of soil and foliage, the pumpkin patch transformed from a picturesque setting to a chilling crime scene. The laughter of children echoed in the distance like cruel taunts, a stark reminder of normalcy now laced with an ominous reality. The hunt for Clara Mitchell was no longer a mission of simple disappearance, it was a descent into darkness, and every step taken had the potential to uncover the haunting truth behind her fate. The early investigation. In the days following Clara's disappearance, the small police station in Harrow's End buzzed with an intensity rarely seen in the seemingly sleepy town. Officers pored over reports, each one a thread woven into the fabric of a mounting mystery. The walls echoed with the sharp clicks of keyboards and the rustle of papers as detectives pooled their resources, eager to piece together a timeline of Clara's final hours. Detective Hargrove, a seasoned investigator with a keen intuition, led the charge. He was known for his ability to unearth the tiniest details, scanning through reports, interviews, and local tips with an eagle-eyed focus. As he leaned over the cluttered desk, he couldn't shake the feeling that the answers lay not within the pumpkin patch itself, but in the hearts and minds of those who knew Clara best. The first step was to interview her friends, one by one. Each provided accounts filled with hope and apprehension. But underneath each response lay a threadbare tension. Clara had been seen leaving school that day with her best friend, Leah. Leah's tearful recount of their plans a walk to the patch. Laughter among the vibrant squash was laced with guilt and worry. Had she missed a sign? When questioned, Leah seemed bewildered and lost, consumed by the thought that perhaps she could have done something to prevent it. Next were the townsfolk, and they were quick to share gossip and theories mingled with genuine concern. Many spoke of a shift in the area, an increase in unfamiliar faces roaming the streets. Soon, names emerged and allegations were whispered in hushed tones. But nothing solid materialized. As the days bled into one another, uncertainty hung over the investigation like a dark cloud, deepening the divide between hope and despair. In an effort to keep the community engaged, flyers of Clara's face adorned every telephone pole and storefront window, further drowning the town in unease. Each passerby was met with her youthful smile, a haunting reminder of what was at stake. Search for a girl now lost in shadows. The dead ends. As the days turned to weeks, the excitement and urgency surrounding Clara's case began to fade, morphing into a frustrating cycle of false leads and dead ends. Investigators were left sifting through a patchwork of unreliable information. The pumpkin patch that once held the weight of a mystery now felt like a crucible of despair. Every hopeful hint seemed to dissolve into futility. Detective Hargrove, ever relentless, gathered his team in a cramped office, where the air grew thick with unfulfilled yearning. Local bars and coffee shops had turned into unofficial headquarters for whispers and rumors. One tip led to a dilapidated building at the outskirts of town, a place where vagrants sometimes sought shelter. Officers combed through its crumbling, relics alleyways littered with remnants of lives lived on the march. Yet, the search yielded nothing but echoes of laughter long extinguished. Another attempt led them to an outsider, a drifter who had been passing through Harrow's End just before Clara vanished. He spoke incoherently, weaving tales of fleeting encounters and long-forgotten dreams. But the hunch that had sent them running after him quickly waned as he slipped through their fingers, a specter dissolving into the night. Or each misstep added weight to their frustration. The truth seemed to dance just beyond their grasp, taunting them. Meanwhile, public interest began to wane, shifting as quickly as the autumn leaves that adorned the sidewalks. Families returned to routine. Children resumed their laughter. Yet in the hearts of those who knew Clara, a hollow sadness lingered. The search efforts dwindled, and the flickering hope that once burned bright was extinguished, replaced by the chilly embrace of resignation. Seemingly, time itself became a cruel paradox. As it marched forward, it left Clara behind, trapped in the limbo of uncertainty. Harrow's End was again steeped in the mundane rhythms of life. But for Clara's family, the days felt eternally stagnant, haunted by the relentless ticking of unanswered dreams. A break in the case. The wind whistled through the empty streets of Harrow's End, heralding the coming of winter. It had been weeks since Clara's disappearance, a haunting absence that permeated the very essence of the town. Just as despair settled into the collective heart of the community, an unexpected call broke the monotony, sending a jolt of energy through the weary investigation team. The local sheriff received a tip-off-an anonymous caller reported seeing a girl matching Clara's description near a secluded area on the outskirts of town. The voice on the other end trembled, carried by the weight of fear and urgency. With a renewed sense of purpose, Detective Hargrove gathered his team for an immediate search of the location. A densely wooded section where thick trees loomed like sentinels, masking whatever secrets lay within. As they arrived, the air grew dense with anticipation. Each crunch of leaves underfoot echoed in the stillness, fostering both hope and dread. Search teams spread out, combing the underbrush while their flashlights illuminated the haunting silhouettes of ancient trees. Suddenly, Hargrove's flashlight caught a glimpse of something unusual. A torn piece of fabric snagged on a low-hanging branch. As they drew closer, the familiar pattern revealed itself. The remnants of a jacket Clara had been wearing on the day she vanished. A wave of emotions washed over Hargrove as he carefully collected the fabric, the unmistakable weight of gravity crashing down upon him. This could be the breakthrough they had been praying for. With the fabric secured as crucial evidence, radiating both fear and hope, the team renewed their focus. They began to piece together a new theory. Clara may have ventured further into the woods, and perhaps she had encountered someone or something there. As dusk turned to night, the forest grew deeper, darker, concealing secrets that yearned to come to light. Clara's name hung in the air, a quiet promise that they would not rest until her truth was uncovered. The suspect. With the discovery of Clara's jacket fabric, the tempo of the investigation accelerated. The team, driven by an intoxicating mix of hope and anxiety, shifted their focus to a key figure in the community who had been brushing against the edges of suspicion. Michael Harris, a local handyman known for his erratic behavior and deep-seated issues, had become a person of interest. In the past, Michael had lived in the shadow-she's reputation marred by rumors of obsessive tendencies and awkward encounters with township children. When questioned, he often dodged direct answers, leaving behind a trail of mixed signals. The staff at the local diner recalled him lingering at the edges of conversations, his eyes darting, as if he was trying to blend into the scenery while simultaneously craving attention. As detectives compiled a profile of Michael, they uncovered unsettling details. He had an extensive history of erratic behavior and had taken an unhealthy interest in the pumpkin patches, happy place, as he called it. His social media accounts, littered with photographs from the area, revealed an uncomfortable fixation. Investigators began interviewing neighbors who described odd occurrences show he would often be seen lurking around the local parks, and his unpredictable outbursts frightened both adults and children alike. One evening, Detective Hargrove and his team approached Michael for a formal interview. Sitting in a small, dimly lit room at the station, Michael glanced nervously around as he fidgeted with his hands. His answers were evasive, filled with contradictions that only fueled suspicions. When asked about Clara, his demeanor shifted slightly, a flicker of something, perhaps fear or recognition, flashed across his face, but he quickly suppressed it. The air grew heavy with tension as the detectives engaged him, drawing out personal stories that mirrored Clara's vibrant spirit. Every detail revealed the stark contrast between the innocence of a teen and the anxiety lurking in Michael's troubled mind. Witnesses who had seen Clara that day remembered the two sharing a brief interaction. Suddenly, every dry lead had taken on a new life, turning toward a chilling prospect. Was Michael more than just a troubled man? Was he intertwined with Clara's fate? The trial, the somber atmosphere surrounding Harrow's end, transformed into something electric as news broke of the impending trial. After weeks of meticulous investigation, the police gathered enough evidence to charge Michael Harris with the abduction of Clara Mitchell. The small town, previously engulfed in uncertainty, now held its breath as search for justice was about to commence in the town's venerable courthouse, a weathered building that witnessed the ebb and flow of countless lives intersecting within its dead walls. Inside the courtroom, the air crackled with tension, drawing both worried residents and Clara's grieving family into neatly arranged rows. They all yearned for clarification. For the past months, grief had consumed them, but now a flicker of resolution hung tantalizingly close. Hargrove sat at the prosecution's table, his expression resolute, prepared to present the evidence painstakingly gathered over the last month's slow break through the curtain of Michael's discombobulated story and expose the truths hidden beneath. The trial unfolded methodically, punctuated by witnesses recalling Michael's peculiar behavior. The diner staff, neighbors, and even children testified to his unsettling presence around the pumpkin patch. A forensic expert detailed the fabric recovered in the woods connecting it unequivocally to Clara's jacket, a visceral reminder of her absence. As the days dragged on, Michael took the stand, his lanky frame draped in an ill-fitting suit. His eyes darted nervously, struggling to escape the weight of the evidence mounting against him. He weaved elaborate stories that contradicted the witnesses, ultimately leaving the jury with a lingering doubt. His defense argued passionately that no concrete proof existed linking him directly to Clara's disappearance, that circumstantial evidence should not equate to guilt. Yet, as the testimonies piled up, an air of disbelief settled over the courtroom. Clara's image was dragged into the light once more, flickering like the dying embers of a long-ago fire, a ghost haunting even the most cynical hearts present. As the jury retired to deliberate, time stretched thin. The finality of their decision held the power to shape not just the narrative of a moment, but the future of a town still grappling with the shattering ramifications of a tragedy. The aftermath. In the weeks following the conclusion of the trial, a haunting silence nestled over Harrow's End. The verdict had been delivered. Michael Harris was found guilty of abduction and sentenced to a lengthy prison term. Yet the town's collective relief felt muted, overshadowed by the void left by Clara Mitchell's absence. The emotions surrounding the outcome were complicated. A sense of justice emerged, but it felt singularly inadequate against the weight of loss. The pumpkin patch, once filled with laughter and joy, became a site of quiet reflection, transforming into a memorial for Clara. Locals adorned the area with flowers, cards, and photographs of her radiant smile, marking the space as a testament to her life rather than her disappearance. Families visited with their children, eager to reclaim the innocence that was stolen, while others mourned collectively, hoping that someday the laughter would return to where it had been extinguished. In the aftermath, Detective Hargrove found himself ruminating over the details of the case, recounting every hint and clue, afflicted by the burden of a mystery that still felt unresolved. Despite the conviction, no one had discovered Clara's whereabouts. As he walked the familiar streets, he felt the whispers of the townsfolk brushing against his consciousness, a reiteration of regret and the gnawing sense of what might have been. Clara's family, though devastated, chose resilience. They became advocates for safety in their community, ensuring that no child would become lost like Clara had. In her honor, they created initiatives focused on mental health and counseling, providing support to families navigating grief and loss. As autumn settled into winter, the town sought to heal beneath the gentle blanket of snow. Clara's name began to symbolize strength. Her story captured the essence of a community, determined not only to remember, but also to act, catalyzing change where silence once existed. The past could not be erased, but amid the grief, hope began to flicker like the warmth of a candelilla light in the darkness that hinted at something worth striving for. Reflection. As the first snow melted into the thaw of spring, the people of Harrow's End found themselves navigating a new chapter marked by resilience, remembrance, and the quiet questioning of life's fragility. Clara's story continued to loom in the collective consciousness of the townsfolk, a haunting echo that reminded them of innocence lost, yet also of the power of unity. Detective Hargrove often found himself lounging on the same weathered bench where he once saw Clara take photographs, transported back to those fleeting moments of vibrancy that now seemed so distant. Each rustle of leaves in the quiet park whispered tales of opportunity, of dreams still waiting to be unleashed. As he reflected, he realized how deeply Clara's case had woven into the fabric of his own lifey and indelible impression, etched into his memory, a catalyst for the changes he yearned to see. The town held an annual memorial event, each year drawing larger crowds as awareness grew around safety and the importance of community. The simple act of coming together was a testament to Clara's enduring legacy, a collective promise that no child's laughter would be shrouded in fear again. Hargrove understood that healing was a process, and while the scars of the past would linger, they had sparked a transformative journey. Clara's story became more than a tragedy. It transcended into a movement of hope and vigilance, a reminder that even in the deepest darkness, a flicker of light can guide the way forward.